A village once asked an old man a strange question. "Who is the strongest person you have ever seen?" The old man stayed silent for a moment. Then he said, "A boy who never complained. Not a king, not a warrior, not a rich man, just a quiet boy no one noticed. And this is his story." His name was Daniel. He lived in a small wooden house near the edge of the village. His father died when he was very young. His mother worked night and day washing clothes for other families just to buy bread. Life was hard, very hard. At the age of 10, Daniel woke up before sunrise every morning. While other children slept peacefully, he carried water buckets through muddy roads and chopped wood with his small hands. In winter, his fingers cracked from the cold. In summer, the sun burned his skin. But no one ever heard him complain, not once. The villagers noticed it. Some admired him, others laughed at him. "You act too serious for a child," they would say. But Daniel never answered. He simply smiled and kept working. Years passed. His mother became sick, very sick. The doctor in the village demanded money they did not have. Daniel began working even harder. He carried heavy sacks in the market, cleaned animal farms late at night, fixed broken fences. Sometimes he worked until his knees shook from exhaustion. Yet every morning he still smiled at his mother and said, "Everything will be okay." But deep inside, he was tired. There were nights when he sat alone outside the house, staring at the dark sky, silent. Not because he felt no pain, but because he believed pain did not need an audience. One evening, while carrying wood through the forest, Daniel heard laughter behind him. A group of boys blocked his path. One of them pushed him hard to the ground. "You work like a slave," they mocked. Another kicked dirt onto his clothes. Daniel slowly stood up. His hands were bleeding. His eyes were calm. For a moment, the boys expected anger, a fight, a scream. But Daniel simply picked up the wood and walked away. That night, an old traveler staying in the village saw everything. The traveler was known as a wise man who had spent his life studying human nature. The next morning, he visited Daniel. "Why didn't you fight back?" he asked. Daniel looked down quietly. Then he said something the old man never forgot. "Because life is already fighting me every day. I don't want to become like it." The traveler stared at him in silence. He had met kings filled with pride, soldiers filled with rage, rich men terrified of losing everything. But this poor boy had something rarer: control. Days later, the traveler gathered the villagers in the center of town. He pointed at Daniel and said, "You think strength is loud. It is not. Real strength is the ability to carry pain without letting it turn you cruel." The village became silent. For the first time, people saw Daniel differently. But life was not finished testing him. A terrible storm hit the village that winter. Homes collapsed, animals disappeared, families lost food. Panic spread everywhere. People shouted, some cried, others blamed each other. But Daniel remained calm. Through freezing rain, he helped rebuild broken roofs. He carried injured people across flooded streets. He gave away the little food he had to hungry children. For 3 days straight, he barely slept. Then, on the 4th night, the storm finally ended. The villagers gathered outside under the quiet sky, and there they saw Daniel, sitting alone beside the ruins of his own home, destroyed. Everything he owned was gone. For the first time, one man approached him carefully and asked, "How are you still standing?" Daniel looked at the broken pieces of wood around him. Then he smiled softly and said, "Because complaining never built anything." Those words spread through the village like fire. Years later, people forgot the names of the rich merchants. They forgot the loud men who always demanded attention. But they never forgot the boy who stayed quiet in suffering, the boy who chose kindness over anger, discipline over excuses, silence over hatred. Because true strength is not found in muscles, it is found in the soul. The world today is full of noise. Everyone wants to complain, blame, shout, prove something. But the strongest people are often the quietest ones. The people who keep going without applause. The people who suffer without becoming bitter. The people who face storms and still protect others from the rain. Maybe silent strength is not weakness after all. Maybe it is the rarest kind of power a human being can have.